I'm just one of those gamers that I guess procrastinates sometimes.
Hey everyone, I'm MorDHD. We're back with another content creator interview. I've got XeroGeez sitting with me today, and let's get straight into it. Welcome in, XeroGeez.
Thank you for having me. Hello, everyone.
All right, XeroGeez, what's your favorite Trek show?
So my Trek journey is complicated. I kind of watch the motion pictures more than anything. So if I had to pick a show, I would have to say TOS, which oddly enough I've never seen all the way through. I'm actually I think 15 episodes into season one right now, so I'm finally, working on that. Otherwise, I'd say in terms of the newer ones, SNW is pretty good.
Nice. I can't believe, yeah, going back through the TOS, XeroGeez. Love the TOS.
Yeah.
Why is that one your favorite? Can you elaborate?
Well, I mean, I again, the motion pictures is what I really grew up on. So, the motion picture, The Wrath of Khan, Search for Spock, all those. So I kind of go with the original crew. So TOS.
Nice. We've got Wrath of Khan coming up probably later on this year as well. So you're looking forward to
I am. I just hope Scopely doesn't screw it up.
that? Cool. All right. Who's your favorite Star Trek captain?
That would be Kirk for sure.
Any
Who I
reason
grew up
why?
on, and he
Yeah.
always. Yeah, I mean, it's who I grew up on, and I just I like the way he goes about things. He's a risk taker, but he always considers what's going on, the potential outcomes. It wasn't very many times that he made decisions, difficult decisions without confiding or understanding things and whatnot. So, um, yeah, because of that, I'd have to say for other reasons, but
No, that's fair enough. What's your favorite Trek tech that you'd like to see in the real world?
uh, I would have to say the medical tech in Star Trek. Being someone that's diabetic, there's so many complications in the world. Obviously, in the Star Trek world, the medical field is very solid. There's so many things. I remember the voyage home when they're back in the '80s, and McCoy is walking the hallways in the hospital, and I don't remember the full details of the discussion, but he comes across the lady that's ailing and whatnot, and they go back and forth on what's going on, and just his reaction to how archaic the medical, I guess, treatments were and whatnot. So I think the medical tech would be very beneficial for the world.
That's such a good answer. I'd love to have my own EMH just sitting next to me as well. Like if I get sick or whatever, just be like, call the EMH in. Can you fix me up? No, it's so good. So
Right.
we've had the warp, we've had the transporters, and medical tech as well. So slowly we're building the Star Trek ship by all the people that we're talking to. Everyone's picked something different.
Well, warp was originally my going to be my answer, so I'm glad that I changed it. But yeah, I just think medical would be more beneficial in the short term and long term, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. Like the more that we get into space as well, who knows what's out there? The, something's gonna get us.
Very
So
true.
all
Yeah,
right,
who
Sergi.
said that? I think that was also McCoy that said space is full of diseases or is a disease or something of that nature.
Yeah, and I've heard the opposite as well. Like humans are a disease for the rest of like the universe too. So who knows?
Yeah,
Who knows
this
who's
is
right?
true.
All right, the big question: how did you find out about Star Trek Fleet Command?
So I found it through ads on Facebook. And at the time I had little experience with mobile games. When I had gone into my relationship at that time, or had been in that relationship, playing console games and or even PC was not a viable option. So in order to continue doing stuff that I like playing games, I had to start playing mobile games and things like that, like, even the portable, gaming, like, we didn't have Steam Deck back then, but we did have, the Switch, so, So found it through Facebook,
And you're still here. How long have you been
and I'm
playing
still
for?
here. My journey started January of 2019.
Nice. That yeah, you OG pretty much right from the beginning. Because I think it only came out pre-beta in
Yeah,
like
missed it by a couple months, I think. I think it was November that it launched.
yeah. Yeah, coming up to 7 years now, 2018. It's crazy.
Yes, it is.
So what's your favorite STFC feature?
This is a tough one to answer. I want to say arenas if it worked.
Mm,
We've had this conversation most recently this past Monday when I did my stream. I like the concept of arenas. I just wish that they could figure it out. I know there's a lot of issues that keep going back and forth, but if they can figure it out, I think that arenas will be my favorite feature of the game.
yeah, I'm a massive fan of arenas as well, just having structured PvP. So if arenas don't get fixed, what's number two?
I'd have to say maybe incursions. Probably incursions more than alliance tournaments. I like the rewards from alliance tournaments, but other than that, I don't. It's not. It doesn't give you that thrill. So I would have to say incursions after arenas.
Yeah, 100%. I'm on the same page with you there as well. No, they should just meld them together and have the rewards from alliance tournaments be the rewards from arenas or incursions. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Just win X amount of
Yeah.
battles and then have all these rewards. Why not?
Yeah. Exactly.
Are you interested in PvP? And what are your thoughts around the PvP mechanic in SDFC?
So I'm primarily a PvE player. I won't shy away from PvP, but that's not particularly my game style, my gameplay style. I started playing the game for the PvE aspect of it. Obviously, the game has evolved and PvP has become more of a thing. I get the vibe is it's a PvP oriented game, but um, it didn't in my opinion it didn't really start off that way. It was more PvE, but PvP did become a thing as people were killing mining ships to clear nodes and whatnot. Um, but it's become more aggressively a PvP game. But PvE is still probably, in my opinion, 75 at least 75% of the game is PvE. Um, and then you have the PvP focused game types, so arenas, incursions. Alliance tournaments doesn't really have PvP type stuff, but outside of that, it's the normal stuff that's always been there.
Mm. What are your thoughts on the rewards that you get from PvP?
Garbage from standard straight up PvP. Yeah, it's garbage. I don't really get much from that. I
Yeah,
guess it's more of a numbers game. You're getting your power destroyed and your kill death ratio up.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, Scopeplay really needs to revamp the PvP reward boxes because they are pretty garbage. And even fixing the leaderboards as well, because I think some of those leaderboards are broken and they don't really show proper numbers for power
Yeah,
destroyed.
we can't be surprised though
No.
that anything in this game is broken.
And what are your thoughts on row? Like, are you for or against row?
I'm for row, but I think it should be a simplistic thing. There shouldn't be a lot of stipulations. You know, protected cargo. Um, don't hit. If you're over, then you're over. Don't go over. When I talk about the additional stipulations, we had once G4 came out, a stipulation that you couldn't hit anybody mining in G4, because back then not a lot of people could reach them anyways. Um, and then at times, or as time went on, rather, it evolved to become you can hit them only if they are zero node and in a system that all the nodes are full. So, and it's progressively evolved every time we get a new, grade, for lack of a better term, in the game. So G5, G6, and then coming soon G7. So simplistic row. I'm good with
Yeah,
that.
I agree with simplicity too. We've got the same issue. Like our G4, G5, and our G6 is kind of protected from that, which is really surprising because it's like the players who have spent the most in the game and are the most progressed, the most powerful, the ones that really want that protected space for the higher end content. When it kind of like
Yes,
should be the opposite. It's like if you're there, like you can afford to get hit. So yeah, I don't really understand that. Um, yeah, we have the same. It's interesting. And G7 definitely, I think, would be this year. Either
yeah,
September or
end of the
October.
year.
Yeah, I was saying
Agreed.
March, so maybe TJ's big leak from last room is that G7 is next month.
Oh my god, wouldn't that be something?
Yeah,
I mean, it could be. He said he did not agree with what they were doing. I don't know. He said it was going to be game changing or game breaking. I think he said game changing, like Carol Freeman was. So
yeah.
Lord help us.
That PvP conversation as well is really interesting because I feel that Play has the same pattern. Like they'll introduce the mechanic that destroys the game, and then 3 to 6 months later they'll fix it. So Carol Freeman, and then we got isolated damage and apex barrier. So whatever breaks it next month, 3 to 6 months we'll get the fixes for it, and that's kind of been consistently what they've done for 6 years now. So
I would have to say, since we're kind of on the subject,
mm,
one of the least favorite things that's happened in the game is introduction of specific PvP officers. About the only one I was okay with was the Strike Team crews. But then you did bring out Carol Freeman, and then you did bring out Mirror Universe, and then you did bring out, the next variant of Strike Force officers. I miss the days when it was simple. You had your officers to pick from, try to figure it out, and come up with your own PvP crew. But
mm.
I guess actually we'd have to go back to TOS. That was our first PvP specific crew. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, and like it's like cookie cutter kind of now, or like you've got this beats this, this beats this, this beats this. But like I miss the days as well where it's like, oh, not everyone knew what the best thing was, so you'd try different things on different ships and you'd have a different outcome.
Yeah, and it's PvP. It's instance, right? So it's not like you have time to you can't change out your crew while it's going on. So if you're going up against a crew, a ship that you should be able to beat with a crew that's better than your crew, you don't have a shot unless you purchased Tantalus Field or Soren's Trilithium or any of those.
Yeah, and
So
like Slipstream Drive too, having the game breaking
yep,
mitigate or removes your shields essentially and straight to hull damage.
yep.
It's crazy. So I don't think they can break it really any more worse than that because already the paid content's out there. If you get that, you pretty much will whoop anybody. So
Yeah, exactly. My Enterprise A 220 something million at the time was losing to 100,000, 100 million. Yeah, 100 million Pylum. And they had Tantalus Field and
mm,
I think Q Cannon. It's like, okay, well, against the triangle, all that, that's just crazy.
yeah. So ship power doesn't even matter. It's like who's got forbidden and chaos tech and who's got the higher level officers that counter the officers you've got. So, but I wish it was more
Exactly.
like you've said before with like COD and stuff, where it's like, oh, a level one player can kind of get lucky and beat a level 100. In this game, you can't. It's just like,
Yeah. No, you cannot.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. I wonder how we can get around that. Like, I mean, that is the game, and that's why people spend and stuff. Yeah, but I wish there was more luck.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I can't, knock the spending. I'll spend on
Mm,
occasion. I like to do what I call smart spending, something that has a long term value. But I can't knock those who spend a lot on this game because they're the reason that we are, in year 7.
yeah, no, I
Honestly,
agree.
otherwise this game probably would have died years ago.
Yeah, and hats off to the spenders who know what's good. Like everyone buying Slipstream Drive, everyone buying Tenless Field, and all these new Chaos and Forbidden techs because they're good. They're gonna win, and that's what you want. Like if I had disposable income like that, I'd be doing the same. Like why wouldn't I? Like I play this game every day.
Yeah.
You're pretty similar, so spend X amount of money to get something that's gonna help me win pretty much every arena fight. Why wouldn't I?
Yep. If you can, then you can.
Mm.
And we can't really, do anything about it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I reckon we probably are going to get another damage type soon because they've really gone through all they can with Isolytic and Apex now, and it's so freely available. They've really negated a lot of old damage content, a lot of old research because of these new things. So I reckon
Mhm.
soon they're going to bring out, I don't know, another type of damage. It's not going to be Isolytic, it'll be something different. And that's going to be the new model, I reckon, going forward, where every 6 to 12 months we'll just get a new damage type.
Yeah, I mean, they seem to follow that model, not just for damage type, but really for, everything. Officers, just everything in the game. They introduce some kind of variant that's new to the game, and it's not a bad thing.
Mm,
It keeps things fresh. But hey, maybe that's what DJs could also could have been hinting towards. Them releasing another type of damage so soon. I don't think it was that long ago that we got Apex Barrier, right? Was that Mirror Universe that we got that one?
yeah, I think it's
I
only
can't
been
remember.
six to 12 months max since we've had the Isolytic and Apex Barrier editions, and I reckon, yeah, they're probably going to do something similar because, like, even Rev talked about it. If they're going to introduce this stuff, like, make it slow increments, it's a full reset, and then what they did is like, oh, here's 10,000, here's 100,000, here's like a million. So now it's kind of that's all you have. Normal damage doesn't matter, and they've already buffed the numbers too far to make it really meaningful in PvP. So
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The numbers are insanely buffed in the game now compared to when it was, early on in the game.
their model of never nerfing is detrimental to the game as well, where it's like you've broken it to the point where if you can only go up, the only things that matter now are things that are exponentially better than the thing that was previously. So yeah, what are your thoughts around that?
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, Scopely's just, they're gonna make money, trying to get people to push along. I mean, we've kind of, and I might be going off the rails here a little bit, but
That's
we
fine.
uh we kind of saw that this month where they really, for lack of a better term, screwed the G3 community in terms of event store currency. Um, it just seems, like they are really pushing people to go up, and there are gonna be people that are gonna do that, and they're gonna do it through spending. And again, it is what it is. Shout out to them, but I feel like Scopely is just gonna keep throwing things out there to try and make money, and it's a business model, and people are gonna do it. So I can't really fault them. And what they're working on, I think acquiring Pokemon Go from Niantic, so that's gonna be interesting for that community.
That's
Buckle
insane to
up.
me. Like, are they gonna get like Star Trek Pokemon, or are we gonna get Pokemon officers in the game?
Yeah, well, I was in Moose's stream earlier, I was saying, USS Pikachu, the Pikachu themed ship.
Yeah. All right. Well, you heard it here
Wouldn't that be
first, everybody.
interesting?
What's it gonna do, ZeroGeez? What's the USS Pikachu's ability?
Well, it's definitely gonna be lightning related, so I don't know how lightning works in space, but that would be pretty interesting. I guess that would be lightning induced torpedoes or something of that nature. I'm not sure.
It's a new
Plasma
damage type.
energy.
Yeah, that's a new damage
Yeah,
type there, ZeroGeez. Lightning-induced torpedoes and plasma energy. So,
yeah.
what's the crew for the ship? What officers are we getting on the USS Pikachu?
Well, it's probably got to be Ash. I would think Ash, Misty, and Brock.
Man, Brock is unhinged. I love me some Brock.
He would definitely be your Scotty. I think.
Yeah, and no, we're gonna get Nurse Joy, and what's the officer's name in Pokemon? I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember her name either, but yeah, I guess Nurse Joy obviously would be the doctor of the ship, and then the police one would be security.
Mm, yeah,
So. Interesting conversation.
So 12 months time, we'll get USS Pikachu, we'll get the new lightning damage, and we'll get Brock, Misty, Ash, and Nurse Joy in the game.
Yep.
Oh,
And
cool.
the enemy will be Mewtwo again.
Ooh, yeah, Mewtwo, Team Rocket, and I love it. I can't wait. Like, it just blows my mind with Niantic. Like, they, with the way that their game plays as well, where it's GPS based, like, are they going to introduce that into like Star Trek as well, where like we're going to just like have GPS like walk around in the real world to interact with the game that we play?
That would be interesting. I don't know how I would feel about it in Star Trek. I did play Pokemon Go early on for like a year or so, and then I just kind of dropped off there. But
Mm.
yeah, I don't know. That would be interesting.
So, ZeroGeez, what server are you on? And is there any one player that you wish was on your server?
I am on server 29. Um, I will go with the most popular answer that you will probably hear from everyone, Rev Deuce, even though
Yeah.
I am on 710 with him. Being that my main is on 29, it would obviously be a lot more fun to be engaged that way.
Oh, for sure. Rev is definitely a man of the people, and yeah, we've got two people out of three who've said they want to play with Rev. He's definitely a crowd
Yeah.
favorite for sure. So you've got the mini U. What's your mini U called on 710 with Rev?
I think it's also zero G's, but with a zero instead of an O.
Oh, fair enough.
It might be archived. I'd have to log back in. It's been a while.
Yeah, for sure. So, how long have you been streaming for?
So I started streaming, I want to say September was my initial stream, and that was bare basic equipment. I didn't have a mic, I didn't have a webcam, I didn't have any of that. I would just went out there with all that, or without all that rather, and then just played my music like I always do, and interacted with anybody that came in, which was not a lot early on.
Nice. You're always so good at that as well, just like talking to everybody in the chat and like making yourself feel welcome. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I think it's really important to engage, as much as possible. Obviously, as the crowd gets bigger, it gets more difficult. But yeah, I do like to interact with the crowd.
Nice. So, why did you get into streaming in the first place?
Um, Life circumstances. Um, I've said this a few times, so I don't have any issue putting it out there. But many people know I'm going through a divorce right now. So I have a lot more free time on my hands. Not that I really want that. Um, but it's something I've always been interested in. I've always enjoyed watching Rev's videos. DJs. I probably didn't start watching DJs until last year. So Rev was really the only exposure that I had to Star Trek Fleet Command content creation. So it's always something that I've been interested in, but now I have the opportunity.
Yeah, nice. And Rev as well, like just seeing him out there and like he was one of the first and then yeah, just that got me interested in the game as well. Like I was just Googling Star Trek Fleet Command and his name came up and there we go. He's influenced a lot of people. That good old Rev.
Oh yeah.
Him and his pirate booty.
Yeah,
And yeah, we haven't really seen a lot from No One Shell these days, I think, but he was definitely one of the other first ones out there too.
he was. Yeah, he was one that I had come across on YouTube every now and again. And honestly, I'd completely forgot about him, but he popped up somewhere, and I just remember thinking, yeah, I did watch stuff from him. I don't know if it was live, but it was definitely on YouTube.
Mm. Yeah, there's so many different platforms now where a lot of creators are on. And I think some are starting to get into like the Instagram side as well, and even like
Yeah,
Swordplay themselves are so Instagram focused now. It's crazy.
indeed.
So the big question: where does your streaming name come from? Zero G's. What is a Zero G's?
So, zero G's. I mean, that's been my gaming name since online gaming was a thing. But I guess to dive a little deeper, I was or still technically am a huge Linkin Park fan. Um, so their original band name was Zero, Xero, which they kind of channeled in their latest album release. Zeros in the name, but it's not, spelled that way. It's spelled the regular way. So yeah, it was a combination of that. My in real life last name is mixed in my username, but I'm not going to dox myself, so I'm not going to hint to what that may be rather. Um, so yeah, it's been like that since the early 2000s. Zero G's.
Nice, it's really cool. I love Linkin Park too. I think we're a similar like generation, you and I, with very similar interests. And yeah,
So
the
sound definitely sounds that way.
mixing of the names, like, because my gamer name is very similar to you. It's not with Linkin Park, but yeah, it's similar origin story too. So it kind of carries with you, doesn't it? Because how long have you had yours for?
Um, when did it's got to be since 2005, I think is the
Yeah,
first
wow.
time. I think that's when 360 came out. It was the first online gaming that I had experienced. The Xbox 360.
So
So,
speaking of gaming, like, so you're definitely an Xbox man over PlayStation and Switch, or is it pretty much like Xbox plus Switch?
um, I've probably been more of PlayStation um along the whole line or the whole timeline of the systems. But now I'm more PC. I still have a PlayStation 4, a PlayStation 3. I do have a Nintendo Switch. I did have a Steam Deck, but I sold it because now I'm just playing it on my PC or my laptop rather.
For
So,
sure. So have your streaming goals changed from when you started streaming?
yes. When I first started streaming, I wanted high numbers for obvious reasons. But then, at this point, as we've already discussed, I'm happy with an intimate crowd. Not that I'm opposed to having a large amount of people, but again, it allows me to assist and or communicate effectively with, fellow commanders.
Yeah, it's amazing the platform that we have thanks to people like Rev, No One Show, and DJs, where you and I can just jump on Twitch and then like there's people that we're familiar with. We're a part of the community, so yeah, it's
Yep.
really good to have that for us. And like, has that helped in terms of like public speaking or in terms of just like building friendships and things like that?
Yes, it has. I mean, it's nice having all these additional friendships, that we've built within the community, not just in the game, but also in the streaming community. Um, in terms of public speaking, I was, a little nervous at first. I do engage in liquid encouragement every now and again, um, as you guys may know. Um, but I did take a I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, Dale Carnegie course, probably about 13 years ago. Um, which is one of those courses where they put you through some very embarrassing things in front of people to try to get you to, I guess, get used to it, feel more comfortable with it and whatnot, and not allow it to control you, your nerves and all the stuff that's going on.
Nice. Do you want to share one of
Basically
those?
desensitizing you.
Yeah, for sure. Do you want to share one of those embarrassing things from the course, or are you happy to keep that to yourself?
I mean, it's not, I didn't feel super embarrassed, but I guess at the time we've talked about this. I was a drummer. So one of my sketches, for lack of a better term, was I just stood in front of a crowd of about 50 people playing the air drums, just making the sounds with my mouth and just going to town with my hands and my feet.
That's so cool. I love that. Do you have a video of that
So
anywhere, or are you happy to give us a drum solo
I
now?
don't. Well, it's been a bit, and I got this mic boom over here that I might knock over
Yeah.
if I try to do the drums, but no, unfortunately, I don't. But I'm out there on YouTube, as you guys saw.
Yeah, like shout it out. Let us know where we can find you on YouTube because everyone should tune in.
It is, I wanna say the name of the band is, or the band that I was in was, Sirenicide, Sirenicide, and I think the track that I'm because they replaced me after I had left, the track you can find me on is "Back to Nothing's Truth" with Jessica Perry.
Yeah, it's so cool. I'm gonna have to link that in the video as well. So in terms of favorite hobbies, so you're a drummer, but do you play other instruments as well?
I tried to do guitar. I just, I did enjoy it, but I just didn't quite, I guess, get it. It didn't roll for me like drums did. No, I also played saxophone way, way long time ago
Wow.
when I was in like fifth or sixth grade, which I did enjoy, but I moved on from.
No, fair enough. Wow, I love saxophone. That's so cool. You can be the sax guy like Major Samo as well.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
music, gaming. Do you have any other hobbies or?
Sports, hanging out with my friends, being I guess you can't really call this a hobby, but just being a big part of my kids' lives and,
Hmm.
trying to help them get through the challenges that they'll be going through in life. So
Yeah, no, you seem like a really good dad to me, XeroGeez. So yeah,
I
it's cool.
appreciate it.
All right, why the Philadelphia Eagles? I don't know anything about the American sports, but is this like a family team
It
or?
is. I was born in Philly.
Nice.
So and I tell this story and people still don't understand why I'm an Eagles fan. But I was born in Philly. I was 2 years old when my mom moved us down here to Houston, with the rest of the family. Now I am a Texans fan as well, but when it comes to football, you know, back in the mid '90s, we lost the Oilers to Tennessee. So the options were follow the Oilers, follow the Cowboys, or go with the family, and that was the Eagles. And I went with the Eagles. So
Nice.
sure, not the Cowboys. Sorry for all the Cowboys fans out there.
Poor Cowboys fans. Do you get to go to a lot of games and stuff as well? And like how into because like your beanie's there as well. Like really into the
Yeah.
team.
Um, I'm absolutely diehard Eagles. I don't get to go and see them, but every 8 years because the way that the scheduling works, because the Texans and the Eagles are in separate divisions, separate conferences. They face off against each other every 4 years, but 1 year is in Houston, 1 year is in Philly. So for the last two times that the Eagles were here, yes, I did go to the game and get booed by a lot of people.
But they're played in Philly. How are you getting booed? What is this?
No, no, no,
Crazy.
no. Playing in Houston,
Yeah. No,
because I
I
live
see
in
why.
Houston right now. Yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah.
makes sense to me. Sorry about that. Yeah, so you're the
No, you're good.
enemy in the place you live.
Yes.
Do you play any other games apart from STFC?
Um, I'm one of those gamers that's terrible about starting games and then not finishing them. So there's so many games out there that I've probably started. You saw me on that TCG card
Mm,
shop game
mhm.
that I'd been streaming for a little bit. I haven't touched it in probably like a week and a half. Um, Outside of that, I play Minecraft with my son.
Oh,
He
cool.
loves Minecraft. He's actually in the background playing Minecraft right now on my Switch. Um, yeah. So I'm just one of those gamers that I guess procrastinates sometimes.
Yeah, I love that. Why not? Just try everything. If it doesn't work, doesn't work. Go to the next thing. And it's so
Right.
cool playing like games with your kids as well. Like that's such a good way to connect, and it's something that like our parents didn't really have access to. So I love that. That's really nice.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you have any words of wisdom that you live by?
Um, pretty simple, I would say. Don't be afraid to live because tomorrow is never guaranteed.
Mm. Yeah, 100%. It's not. So yeah, I like that. That's really good. Nice. Now,
Hmm.
is there anything you want to plug? Anything you want to promote?
Um, I would say the next gen content. group. If you guys aren't following any of those, and there might be some exciting news there. I can't divulge any information. But yeah,
Ooh.
you guys, if you're not following or checking them out, please go give them a shot. That's obviously the HRM Moose, which everyone's quite familiar with. Ultravetica, that's CDBDU, Oh It's Cree. Um, I'm gonna start forgetting. I usually have something to help me go off. Actually, I do have something to help me go off. Um,
There's a lot of you. I
Two
understand for
guns,
sure.
one girl. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And Grand Admiral Hunter, and of course Mini Mabel.
Classic
Can't forget
Mini.
Mini Mabel.
Mini's
And then
everywhere.
Dr. Iron Chef. Yeah, she is. She's everywhere. She's a hoot. I love Minnie. But I have to give a special shout out to Dr. Iron Chef because he's a big reason why we're all together as a group. So, and the
Mm.
Warp Drive 5, they're a great group as well.
I love Dr. Iron Chef. His AI, like I don't know if you were there the other stream, ZeroGeez.
I was.
Yeah, like he, he literally had like a podcast group through AI going through the patch notes, and I'm like, wow, this is the best thing I've ever heard. We don't need anybody else. Have Sharky and the AI there. He's taken all our jobs.
Yeah. I was the one in chat saying this sounds like this was written by Scopely.
Mm,
Some of
yeah,
the way this sounds.
yeah, but like it was better because like Scoplay, they don't know how to communicate their patch notes very well, but Dr. Iron Chef's like, yeah, have
Exactly.
some AI. Oh, that's
He
amazing.
dressed it up very well.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And we, of course, we're going to shout out twitchtv.0Gs. So I'm going to put the link in here as well. So you guys got to check out 0Gs. He's a great time. He's a fun guy. He's streams pretty regularly. And yeah, he just really loves talking to people. So, and got the quiz show on there as well, 0Gs. So love the quiz. And yeah,
Yeah,
it's a chill time on your stream. It's really fun.
appreciate that. Absolutely.
All right, so I've been MorDHD, and ZeroGeez has been ZeroGeez, and I really appreciate having you on the show today. And I hope we
Thank you
can
for having
do
me.
something else in the future. And yeah, you guys got to check out ZeroGeez.
Alrighty, yeah. I thank you for having me on your show, and you guys don't forget to go check out Mord on Twitch if you haven't already. This is his channel, I know, but in case you haven't.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks, ZeroGeez. And like it's good because like everyone's community seem to just like be melding into one. Because I want to get to the point where it's like everyone just knows everyone. Because that's the whole point of the show. Is just like who is ZeroGeez? Who is CDB? Who is Vesicular Tomb? Like who are these people? Let's talk.